Hi, Great River Regional Library. It's Jen. I'm so excited to be here today. We are talking leather, and we're able to do this because of Minnesota's Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. And I believe they're having surveys for you to fill out that come along with this kit and this video and this class. So make sure you do that so they know what you think and what you'd like to see in the future. And yeah, with that, let's begin. Let's go over how to use the kit. Let's go talk about leather. So what we're using for jewelry making today, and what I always use typically, is what's called upholstery leather. So it's a thinner leather. So it's the leather you see in bags and jackets, coats, and such. So I get my leather a lot of times from garage sales and thrift stores, and I buy all those things up and then I cut it apart and then I use it in a new way. So love to recycle, love to do that. And it's also an easy way, inexpensive way to work with leather. So that's a fun way. And then you can also buy leather, like I got this fun little piece off of Amazon, all different colors, all different shapes and sizes. And I get my leather, they even have it at the craft stores these days. So I know Hobby Lobby has it. So there's a lot of ways to work with leather, a lot of easy places to get it. So that's fun. Leather is easy to work with. Couple tools you'll need. So let's go over the tools. And so the most basic one is the scissors, which you guys may have laying around. A nice titanium scissors, so a nice heavy duty scissors you will need. And I have them in all different sizes. So I have really long ones and really short ones depending on the cuts that I'm making in my leather. So titanium scissors is something that you will need if you want to work with leather. And then I also use sometimes a rotary tool. So this is a tool you typically use for fabric and quilting. And so it comes with a mat and then this little cutter. So this works really great. I just use the regular wheels and they might wear out sooner than with fabric, but they still last a really long time. So if you have one of these, this is a great way to cut leather as well, okay? And then if you're gonna work with leather, you need a hole punch. And these are a really fun way to work with leather. You can use them to attach fasteners and such, just make patterns in your leather. So they're kind of essential if you're gonna work with leather. This tool, if you're gonna buy one, you would want to buy a heavy duty leather punch, no plastic parts, and it will last you for a very long time. So that's what this is. It probably runs maybe around $25. And so let me show you how this works. So I've pre-punched your holes in your bracelet, and I'm gonna show you how I did that, okay? So this tool has all these different size holes going around here in this dial. And this dial turns around like this, so it clicks into place. So you have a 2 millimeter hole to like a 4 millimeter hole, and it's displayed right here what size you have. And so if we were having a class in person, I would have all these tools for you guys and I would say, okay, now we're going to use a 3 millimeter hole. And so you guys would need to turn this to that size. All right. And then let me show you how it works. So I'm gonna put my piece of leather in here. This little pad is where you want to place your piece of leather, and then put it in the right location. And then you're gonna kind of just hold it down so it doesn't move on you. And then you're gonna take one hand here and the other hand down here, and you're going to squeeze. You hear a little click, and then you wanna twist your leather. So twisting the leather really breaks off the fibers in the back, and it usually gets you a nice hole, okay? If this doesn't work, this is hard for some people. This takes hand strength. So if you don't have hand strength, this is not the tool for you. If it doesn't though break the first time, what I do is then I flip it over, and you can see the little indent of where you're working on, and I would put it in the same location. And then I would do this again. One hand up here, the other hand down here, and squeeze, okay? So that is how you use the hole punch, leather hole punch, very fun. So you guys, leather is a really fun material because it's so easy to work with. And something to know about it is it does stretch. So when we're putting our fasteners on today, I made sure that the holes that go over our fasteners are a tight fit. You would want a tight fit because after you do it time and time again, it really loosens up, okay? And so you want to make sure that when you're sizing things, it's a tight fit, all right? You can wet leather and stretch it. So if I made a bracelet and I was like, oh, it's too small, if it was just a little too small, I could wet this and I could stretch it out and it would probably work for me. So that's nice. You can also stamp leather. So if I wet my leather on the back side, always use the back side, and I stamp on the top, those indents will last for always. So that's another fun and easy thing that you can do to make leather your own. You can also write on leather. So I use paint markers and Sharpies on leather and to make fun patterns. So I just tape off what I want my pattern to be, or you can freehand it, and then draw on it with the paint markers and the Sharpies. And it lasts for a very long time. It will wear off over time, but that's okay. You know, it's fun to initially try that out too. So just lots of fun things you can do with your leather. So let's talk specifically about your kit and how to use your kit. So you have instructions in your kit, and you have an example of, just to give you some ideas of what you can do. And then there's some pretty good instructions here. So you have that, and then you have your piece of leather. You have a hitch fastener, and so the first thing we're going to do is put that hitch fastener on and size your bracelet. Then we're going to design it. So the hitch fastener is this part and this part, okay? So let's begin by doing that. So you all have a leather strip that's pre-punched. So on your leather strip, one side has a single hole and then the other side has a bunch of holes. So we're going to be using the single hole, and we're going to put our hitch fastener on. So you're going to take your screw, and that's going to go underneath your leather. So you're going to put your leather on top of this. That makes me think of, you know, you can use either side of this leather. So if you want the underside, all right, you could use that. It's super fun. People use that all the time, or the smooth side. So that's your first kind of design choice, okay? So you want to put your screw underneath. Your single hole is going to go over the top, and then you're going to poke that through. Now, if you have glue at home, put a little dot of glue on the top of this, just a very small one, so this never comes unscrewed, okay? It also has in the back a little spot for a screwdriver. So if you have a tiny screwdriver, you can also tighten it super tight that way, okay? So let me talk about glue for a second. Glues you can use on your leather are, I use a couple of different things. So if I'm doing leather on leather, fabric on leather, I use tacky glue. Works really great. Or you could also use E6000. So E6000 is a stronger glue. It's also very stinky, so have it be a well-ventilated area. But both of these glues work really well. This even adheres metal to leather. So if you wanted to put some metal pieces on, that even works with this. So these are great glues to work with leather, okay? So I would put a dot of glue on the tip of this, and then I would screw, then you're gonna screw this top ball on. Screw that on tight, and you're ready, okay? It's very simple. So these are called hitch fasteners. I think the ones I have for you are 4mm hitch fasteners. They come in all different sizes. And so I have some here that are really big. And I have some that are smaller than this as well. So these are a fun way to attach your bracelet if you want to make some bracelets. And then you would need to put, depending on the size you get, is the size of hole you would want to put over it. So you can play around with that a little bit. So you have this on, so now we're going to size your bracelet, okay? So you are going to put this on, and then you are just going to decide which hole you want to use. I hope you might be hearing that beeping. So there's a house being built next to me, and they are not quiet. They woke me up quite early this morning, and now they're doing something with beeping. Sorry. Okay, so now what you're gonna do, I usually like to put my finger under this leather. Okay, so make it a little bit loose. Now, yeah, the fun thing about this is you can make it, some people like it tighter, some people like it looser, so you can make it whatever size you want. Find the hole that you want to use, okay? And then decide, put it on there. There we go. That's nice. Okay, so then you have all this extra leather to work with. Now you could put it back, if it would fit, you could put it back on the second hole, which is kind of fun. I do that sometimes. And then you can cut this excess off, okay? Or you can just have it through the single hole, and you can cut this excess off. Do something fun with it when you cut that excess off with your scissors. You know, you could do something at an angle, or you could do something that's like a half circle. You could do something that comes to a point, okay? Since I'm showing you this, let me show you, if your hole is too tight to go over your hitch fastener, you can always make a little tiny slit, which I've done right there. So I think that these will all fit over perfect, but if it's tight, you can always add your little slit with the scissors. Start small. You can always make your slit bigger if you need to, okay? All right, so you've sized your bracelet. You're set. I need a little drink, just a second. Okay, so now you get to design your bracelet. So you have 4 holes punched in your leather. So like these 4 holes. So you can do a lot of different things. So you have fibers included in your kit, and then you have a piece of leather. So if you want to do, here's just some samples of, so I've braided. I like to do braids, they're fun. If you do braids, you have a little toothpick in there, and that's just for helping you put your fibers through the holes. And so in a case like this, I would start by knotting my end. I would put a little dot of glue in there so this doesn't come undone. And then I would weave it, so weave it down and then up through this hole, then run your braid. Okay, then you can braid it, and then put it down through this hole and up through this hole and knot it. Okay, and then cut it off. If you're doing a braid, make sure that you allow for the curve of your wrist. Don't make it tight, and then it's not gonna have any give in it, okay? So allow for that. All right, that would be something cute to do. I just recently, this is so cute. This is a scrap of fabric I had from making a pillow for my daughter. And it's a cute little leopard print, and I put this in there. So I'm loving that. So if you have something fun at home, you can add that. This one is fun. I just did with different fibers. I wrapped some just around the middle part, and then I knotted it and glued it in back. And then I went through there like this, just like I did with the braid. And then if you want to do something simple, I have that piece of leather in there. This is something simple. I wear this one all the time. And then with that, I just stuck my leather. You could do it from in the middle holes or the end holes if your piece is long enough. And then I just left some length there and I glued that down. Okay, you probably wouldn't even need to do that because it probably will stay pretty good. You can cut this piece. You can use this in a lot of different ways. Okay, so, I think that I wish I could take questions, but I really can't take questions. That's really about it, you guys. You can design some amazing things. Maybe you should send me pictures at my page on Facebook, Jen Anfinson Studio. That would be great, fun. I hope you have the very best time with this project. A new bracelet is always a fun thing. Learning something new is always a fun thing. I hope this is your new favorite hobby. Enjoy this rest of the summer, enjoy the fall, and keep creating, my friends. Thank you so much for having me. Bye.